Welcome everyone, this is Joe Rebelo, known to many of you in the internet and the martial arts world, known as KENPOJOE. We're going to be going over a segment for our organization, Kempo International. Now, again, Kempo International, we jokingly say from the old Seinfeld TV series, is the Festivus for the rest of us. Again, it's not exclusive to Ed Parker's American Kenpo or the Tracy system or any of that nomenclature, though members of those organizations are welcome within Kenpo, K-E-M. M comes before N in the dictionary, and I should say the alphabet. And again, Kempo International designed the law of the fist to go over the myriad of variations and different styles of Kenpo and or Kenpo. And again, so now we're going to be going over not only, we don't just utilize the established criteria, the established systems. We also, excuse me, got a little cough there. We also encourage those who have their own creative thought process, their own innovative use of Kenpo, and their own creative basics, sets, forms, techniques. So we're going to demonstrate a technique that I put together called alternating swords. Now, this is based on the understanding of the terminology of a technique that Mr. Parker taught in American Kenpo, or simply Ed Parker's Kenpo Karate, known as alternating maces. But we're now going to use an alternating swords. Now, what does that mean? Well, let's pull out an object that we can all relate to, a sword. So now this is a double-edged sword. It has an edge along one length. It has a tip. It has an edge along the other side. It also has two, count them, two flat sides as well. So what we're going to do in the course of this given technique is we're going to take away the sword and we're going to replace it using our hands like swords to do this particular technique. An important feature that Mr. Parker taught me was whenever something was taught is what it contains and what it teaches. So we're going to demonstrate the technique and then we're going to demonstrate and talk about what it contains and what it teaches in the course of this given technique. Let's go to work, shall we? First of all, I'm going to demonstrate this technique in the air, and then with my partner, I'm going to demonstrate it on a person. Now again, each particular technique is a study of motion. This particular study of motion is teaching us how to study the various parts of our hands that we can use as a sword-like appendage. In this case, the attack will be against the right roundhouse or straight punch. So, in this instance, I'm going to step back with my right foot, my left fighting stance, 45-degree horse stance, an oblique horse stance, a half moon stance, a neutral bow, whatever your particular given Kenpo system utilizes, fudodachi. But irregardless of the system and the basic stance, I'm going to step back with my right foot. I'm going to utilize an extended hand sword, a knife hand block, a shuto uke, whatever your particular system of martial arts calls this. And then I'm going to come in with an inward hand sword or inward knife hand. What are you swords? Because again, alternating swords. Now you're going to say, hey, there's no alternating. It's the same hand. Right. This is our first offensive sword action. Now, right from here, I'm going to utilize the flat side of the blade with a heel palm to the side of my opponent's jaw, preferably at the maxillary hinge or the pressure point that hangs down the two sides of his mouth. From there, I'm going to bring my hand underneath and I'm going to do a thrusting hand sword, a thrusting outward hand sword to his throat. At that point, I'm going to bring my hand around and execute a ridge hand or reverse hand sword to the side of my opponent's temple. From there, I'm going to bring my hand underneath and strike with a backhand using the other flat side of my sword. Now from there, I have an option. I can retract and come underneath with a spear hand, palm down, or palm up underneath. The opposite of underneath at this point, of course, is over the top. Palm down or palm up. And then I can draw back and I can do other actions off that. But that's our basic foundation. So I'm going to step back, block out, chop in, heel palm in, chop out, ridge hand, backhand, spear or spear. Again, that tip of the sword. So, left edge defensive, left edge offensive. Right from there, side of the blade, slapping with the flat of the blade. Now from there, chopping to the throat. From here, ridge hand or reverse hand sword, backhand strike into a thrust underneath or a thrust over the top. Palm up or palm down. Get the idea? Let's try it out. Come on over here. Assisting me today will be my student, black belt, second degree black belt in Raven Kempo Jiu-Jitsu, first degree black belt in Karazenpo Go Shinjutsu, John Malore. So, John, we're going to have you come on around this side. We'll walk through this technique slowly and then we'll finish up normal speed to give you an idea until he gets it. But, so, thank you, sir. So again, John's going to execute a step-through right roundhouse punch, a haymaker as it were. So as he fires in, I'm going to step back and block out, chopping with the knife edge of his hand sword, defensively. And then I'm going to chop to the side of his neck. Now right from there, I'm going to come across and heel palm. Notice how my hand comes across underneath. As I move and I turn his head, I'm going to expose his throat and chop him in the throat. I'm going to take my hand, I'm going to shoot it across here, hit with a ridge hand to his temple. Right from there, I'm going to hit with a backhand strike to his ear. Now right from there, as I bring it underneath, I can bring this hand underneath and thrust palm up, or I can check his arms and thrust palm down into his eye socket. One from column A, one from column B. So now let's go over that one more time slow. Again, the technique is called alternating swords. Used against the front right roundhouse or straight punch. So he comes in with the roundhouse and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, palm down, 8, palm up. Hey, did I do the opposite of what I did before? Exactly. So once again, so go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 7, or 7, or 7. All of them using the tip of the sword. Once again. Now a little faster. Ooh, that's savage, isn't it? Ridge hit. Underneath. Over the top. Underneath. We go back to that chop. Hey, if I go back to here, does that mean I can go back to the ridge and back to the backhand and do it all over again? Yes, it does. That gives us what we call position recognition, where we see a technique at the beginning of a technique in the middle of the technique, or a technique in the end of the technique. And that enables us to graft into other techniques that we already know. So, a little faster. Move. So, bang. Right from there, ridge, hit, spear, or spear, or spear, or spear. That's our base action. I don't want to knock them to the next zip code to get the point across. But I want to explain what we're doing here. So the first action we're doing is the classic shuto uke, a knife hand block. So I'm using the knife edge of that hand defensively, striking the bones in the wrist. Take those 18 bones and small bones in the wrist and make them 32. Shatter his wrist. Create damage. A block that causes pain to your opponent becomes a strike. Now this is teaching us to move outward in a vertical position on a horizontal plane, defensively. Move. So that's the first action. Our second action is to take that same hand from a vertical alignment, palm out, to an inward knife hand, palm up, offensively. So now I'm taking that same edge of the sword that I used defensively, and I'm teaching you how to utilize it offensively off the same limb. Now, right from there, I'm going to bring my hand across, and now I'm going to slap with the flat of my blade, with the heel of my palm, inside of with the palm action here, like an iron palm. Right from there, I'm going to retract that hand back immediately. Gee, could I grab him by the ear and tear it and rip and chop him in the carotid artery and jugular vein instead of the trachea and esophagus? Sure we could. But I want to chop to the throat here. I want to learn that outward thrusting hand sword. So I know a sword I was taught earlier moves circular. It also can move straight out in a straight line. And this is palm down. So again, I hit, I chop. Now my next action, I take that hand and I allow the residual action to circle directly into the reverse hand sword. Tucking in my thumb, striking with that reverse hand sword. Remember, that sword had two edges. So now I hit that right in the temple area. And right from there, immediately, I go, okay, my right hand is now striking palm down with the reverse hand sword. Now, from the edge, I want to go to a flat. So now I did an inward flat action here. Now I'm doing an outward flat action with the opposite hand. Alternating, remember? Striking here to the ear. Now at that point, let's say he brings up an arm because I'm beating the living daylights out of him as he does so. As he does so, I can take that hand and check it. If I check low, I can stab here. Let's say he uses his other hand. Now this is more exact. Some people like that roundhouse action again, right? Pow, that should have taken care of this. This is more exact. You got to be good on this one, folks. Driving the elbow outward. But we don't want to put that in right now, but what we want to show you is possible. I can hit here, striking below the arm. Again, if his hand's vertical, I'm going to hit the nice soft meat right there. Boom, right there. That hand will open like that. If he throws a horizontal punch, I'm going to catch him hopefully right in that radial nerve. Right in that wonderful nerve that lays diagonally across your radial bone that lets you know your arm is broken. It tells you that. Let's make it think that, even if it didn't happen. Right? So again, I can drive here, but you better be good. You better be accurate. I would rather do this and match and have a 90-degree angle. Oh, wow, could I go back to here again? Oh, does that mean, yeah, I can go right back through and do the sequential flow of the technique. That's the beauty of the technique. But we're not there. So again, I slap. Again, right from here, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 4, 7. 7's an optional play we can do. We can do high or low, palm up, palm down, linear, or anchored. We learn about category completion. The opposite of the arm being straight is the arm being bent. The opposite of the arm being down is palm up. Learning about opposites and reverses. What does it contain, and what does it teach? So again, one of the concepts is alternating your limbs. So again, after my initial block, it's left, right, left, right, left, right, left, 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 right, left. Oh my gosh, it's a military technique. Wow, martial military? Sure. So again, this is the flow of the action. So as the person comes in, bang, boom, wham, pow. I'm going to be real light here. I'm going a little fast, boom, because I don't want to knock his glasses off. Boom, boom. And right from there, boom. Now right from here, you know, I can go right back to there. Hey, if I can go back to there, does that mean I can go back to here again? You bet I can. But now, let's see where we can graft and do a couple other techniques from other Kenpo systems. So again, I'm here, starts the same way, moves the same with that wonderful flow, but then he shoots a right uppercut. Oops, I've got raining claw, which just happens to be the 23rd technique for the rank of orange belt in Ed Parker's American Kenpo against an uppercut. I know it'd be a right uppercut, but oh, he shot a left. Silly me, I did it on the opposite side. Hey, yeah, I did. Wow, so if I can do a technique on the right side, could I do a technique on the left side? If you're good, you should be able to. So, same thing happens again. He shoots left, boom. I chop in, I heel palm, chop. Now he takes that left hand and he shoots a straight punch at me. Oh no, that'd be terrible. Wow, I could go back into this and grab his arm. I could spearhand him. Or I could go into another technique I know called alternating maces, which is the second technique for the rank of yellow belt in Ed Parker's American Kenpo. Ooh, grafting. Yeah. So again, he starts with that same action, block, chop, hit, heel, palm, chop. That baby just flows when you get it, right? Chop, pow, chop, ridge, bang. Now, what if he shoots a left hook? Boom. I'm going to block here. And now, I'm going to go into another element in Kempo International. We not only focus upon the Kempo arts. I'm allergic. I'm so allergic to getting hit. Right from here, instead of a closed hard block, I'm going to go into that open hand. Remember how I used it here? Remember how I used it here? Remember how I used it here? Well, now from out, I'm going to go in, and I'm going to go to brush hold strike from the Filipino Martial Arts, from modern Chinese. So again, he starts, whack, boom, wham, bang, and he goes to punch me. Oh, that'd be terrible. That'd be horrible. That'd be deplorable. Wow, from here, could I do this? Could I do that? Could I do this? I could go into a variation on that. I could go into alternating swords from that position. But I want to get this flow. I'm inside. So the minute that arm comes up, boom, I'm in action. I'm in motion. Hey, any of you guys do karate connection? Hey, isn't there a technique? I won't name it. But he shoots here. Bang, boom, wham, boom, and he shoots that punch. And I go boom, 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 and I go, hey. I alternate. It's kind of like alternating maces, but it's called something else. Now, for all the karate connection people, the $64,000 question I want you to put in the comments is, what technique that you would do from the orange belt material that's very similar to alternating maces that you, as a karate connection practitioner, would put in as a grafting motion? Is it on the correct side? No. Can you make it work, though, on the opposite side? Have you tried it on the opposite side? Think about it, baby. So, long story short, what's it contain? A left outward knife hand chop. A right inward hand sword, palm up. A left inward heel palm, or palm heel, depending on the Kenpo system you have, palm in. A left thrusting hand sword, palm down. A right reverse hand sword or ridge hand, palm down. A left outward backhand strike, palm in. And then, if I go underneath, a thrusting spear hand or bull G finger thrust, palm down. Or an anchored spear hand thrust, which can come up to the throat, or the eye socket, palm up. Well, there you have it. Thank you, John. So, there's an original technique taking many of the influence that you may learn from your respective Kenpo systems. If you can spell it with an N, still good. But to give you a greater insight into fostering your creativity. I want to see, as the Vice President of Kempo International and the United States representative for Kempo International, we want to see what you do. So if you're a Kempo International member, we have a Facebook page. Put a post on there. Put a video on there. And we endorse and encourage you to show us your systems of Kenpo. Well, that being said, here with John Malloy, this is Joe Rebelo. I hope you had a good time. And until next time, always remember, keep training. Push the button, Joe.